Today's walk is around the Malhamdale Trail. So it's about 5 miles. It takes us from Malham village down towards Keltree Well and Myers Barn, up along Gordale Beck, into the woods by Janet's Foss, up into Gordale Scar, where we double back. Then we come over the brow of Gordale, up over Shorkle Hill, down to Malham Cove, and back down along Malham Beck into Malham.
Okay,
So ahead of us here, that cleft up in front is the start of Gordale Scar, and in between here and there we're going to stop in at Janet's Foss, which is a little waterfall where a fairy's supposed to live. So Janet's Foss is supposed to be the home of the fairy queen of these parts, so people have left coins hammered into this log as little offerings to the fairy queen. So we're just around the corner from Janet's Foss, Gordale Beck below us, party of school children there. Malham is very popular for school trips. So this is Janet's Foss. There's quite a lot of water in it at the moment. We've had a rain and snow over the last few weeks, so plenty of water coming across it. It's not particularly high waterfalls, but it is quite beautiful. On warmer days you find people wild swimming in this pool, and just across the pool is the cave where Janet, the Queen of the Fairies, is supposed to live. I'm not going to go in it today. Now, I'm not saying that these are the best bacon and sausage sarnies that you'll get, but I'm hard pressed to think of a better one. Good enough that I couldn't resist taking a bite out of the first one. So Gordale Refreshments has been here, it says on the van, since 1976. Certainly I can't remember a time there wasn't a refreshment van here. They're one of the little treats of this walk. So we're now approaching the entrance of Gordale Scar. There are some folk who say that this was Tolkien's inspiration for Rivendell. Other people who say that it was Tolkien's inspiration for Helm's Deep. But all people around here agree that it was Tolkien's inspiration for something, which is fair enough because I used to teach at the University of Leeds for a few years, about an hour's drive from here. However, the only person who doesn't seem to agree is Tolkien, because I've never found in any of his letters that he says, oh yes, Gordale Scar was an inspiration for something. Never mind. I don't care. We're going to see elves, Mr. Frodo. Elves! Now, we're just about to enter Gordale Scar proper, and I'm doing the video here because every time I walk around this little promontory, it never ceases to amaze me, and I want you to share it. Look at this. This is just stunning. As some say it was a collapsed cave system. Others that it's a natural gorge. I suspect by all the boulders on the bottom that the natural cave system is probably right, but I'm not a geologist, so there. Now, there is a path of sorts up the side of that waterfall to carry on into the upper gorge. But we're not going to be doing that today. Rocks are a little bit wet, and to be perfectly honest, the last time I did it, I was 26 years old with my daughter Tamsin strapped on my back. And that was a number of decades ago. So we're going to head back out of Gordale Scar and back over the brow of the hill to Malham Cove. You'll see So what do we say to the god of climbing erratic waterfalls? Not today. Although I think these people might have a go. No, they're stopping. Wisdom prevails. So looking back out of the scar from this end, it's just lovely. The landscape around here is limestone karst. It's a result of the Craven Fault. South of here and north of here it's millstone grit. But around here, these incredible limestone rock formations. We're now on the brow between Gordale and Malham Cove. A little bit of an incline coming up, so I haven't been walking too much recently. So a little bit of panting going on. And it is, according to the signpost here, about another half mile to Malham Cove. We're sort of on the brow of the ridge between Gordale and Malham Cove. Malham Cove is just beyond that knoll there, and we're looking down on the village of Malham down there, and that looming mass on the horizon is Pendle Hill. Yes, as in the witches of Pendle, the Pendle witch trials. And that's in Lancashire. If I have a look in me book to see where Lancashire is, then we're probably about 10 miles from Pendle Hill. The border between Lancashire and Yorkshire runs that way, so that dark place, Simba, you must never go there. So I'm standing now on one edge of Malham Cove, or as close to the edge as I am willing to get, because I am terrified of heights. And this is, I think, ultimately about the highest point, about a 260 foot sheer drop. So that's Malham Cove, one half of the horseshoe, and you can see the limestone pavements on top of it. And we just pan down Malham back, and you can see from here numerous ancient field systems that they're called Celtic fields. They're generally square in shape, which indicates that they were probably ploughed by scratch plows or hard plows, which had good for the soils for you. And then just beyond them there, getting what looks like it could be some ridge and furrow, to be medieval ploughing or Napoleonic steam ploughing. You look at the profiles of them, it'll be better to work out which. And then down into Malham village. So we'll go past and have a look at the limestone pavements next. So here we are, Sophie demonstrating the scale of the limestone pavements here. We're just right on the very edge of the limestone pavements. The stone blocks are known as clints. The gaps between them are known as grikes. You get wildflowers here that are peculiar to limestone country, although this is the middle of December, so not much in the way of wildflowers at the moment. We'll go a little bit deeper in. Got to be a little bit careful where you put your feet walking across this. Very easy to slip and twist your ankle. So as pavements go, it's hardly to local authority standards. Oh, look at that, watching me, watching you. You're taking a video, Sophie? So this is the top of limestone, that's top of Malham Cove, and one advantage of coming in the middle of December on a school day is, aside from the occasional party of school children, there's not a great deal of people here. You can see from the tops of the clints how much boot erosion there is up here. We, of course, are adding to it. But this is a very, very popular spot for people to come and have a walk. Spectacularly beautiful, and only about 4.5 miles, I think, just from the top of there. Oh yeah, that's just the very, very top of Sharper there, and Rougher next to it. Just look the other way. That's back the way we've come. And if I just pan down there, you can see some more ridge and furrow in the fields there. All of this is grassland farming now, pasture, sheep and cattle. But back in the Middle Ages, before we had the infrastructure of first canals, well, first turnpikes, then canals, then railways, every area had to be self-sufficient, so much of the lower part of the dale would be ploughed. Coming down by the side of Malham Cove, there's this nice stepped path here. Now, there's a reason I always come up by Janet's Foss and Gordale and across the brow, is I don't mind coming down steps, but going up them doesn't half take it out of me. So I always recommend going to Gordale Scar first and then coming down these here steps. We're just in the middle of the stream here, but we'll just take a look up over the height of Malham Cove. Up beyond the nearest tree. There we go. All you role players out there, let me just put this on a wider angle. There. All you role players out there, I do not know how many climbing rolls it would take to get that, but the rock's wet, there's overhangs, and frankly, unless your climbing skill's really high, you ain't gonna make that. So we're just having a look right at the base of Malham Cove here, and you can see that the beck is coming out of an underground cave system. I don't know that anybody's actually been through it. I don't know that it's possible to go through it. I know that they did do some testing with dies to see which of the sinkholes above led down to Malham Beck and which of them led down to the River Aire, which officially begins about 200 yards south of Malham. But that is the beck going down. Absolutely beautiful. We're a shade under a quarter of a mile from Malham Cove now. It's 2 furlongs in old money, but I just thought I'd stop here and show you this little clapper bridge across Malham Beck. These are a very ancient form of bridge. I'm not going to claim that this particular one is very ancient. I don't know. It could be anywhere between 20 years and 3,000 years old. I hear some people say that they're Stone Age bridges, but the form of clapper bridges is very simple. You put some boulders in the stream and lay some flat slabs of rock across it. You can see there's 1, 2, 3, 4 main slabs and a couple of smaller slabs there going over those rough piers. Very difficult to date stone, and typologically next to impossible to date clapper bridges. You use whatever stone's available, but that's just a lovely little footbridge across Malham Beck, heading to the footpath across there. Just for location from above, the Celtic fields, the Iron Age fields, is where those cows are, and you can just maybe see the little bits of ridge and furrow in the next field. Well, to the naked eye this is quite visible. I hope it comes out on video. See a whole series of ridge and furrow going up the hillside there. It's not a very steep hill, whatever it looks like on camera. Now, it doesn't appear to be very long, and the ends look straightish, which leads me to suspect that this may be Napoleonic steam ploughing rather than medieval ridge and furrow. But it is possible that the ridges actually carry on under those pastures there, that they've been covered over somehow. I don't know. I'd have to double check, see if there's been a study done of those. So every walk deserves a pint at the end of it. So Sophie's on a rhubarb cider and I'm on a Hetton Pale Ale from the Dark Horse Brewery. Cheers. Cheers, Sophie. Oh, just as a point of interest, we're in the Lister Arms. There's 2 pubs in Malham. I don't know why, but I always come to the Lister. I've never been to the Buck. Perhaps I should go someday.